waxaa dalkeena laga dhisayaa markii ugu horeysay xarun dayax gacmeed laga tuuro xaruntaasi waa xaruntii ugu horeysay ee dayax gacmeed laga gano ee qaaradda Afrika ku taala.
Why Israeli media is concerned about Turkey's planned space and aerospace facility in Somalia. Israeli media has recently expressed growing concern over Turkey's planned aerospace and space launch facility in Somalia, describing it as a project with significant security implications that extend beyond its official purpose of technological cooperation and space exploration. According to a report published by the Jerusalem Post, the planned facility in central Somalia is not merely intended to support satellite launches. The newspaper argued that it could also serve as a testing site for Turkey's long-range missile technology, raising strategic concerns throughout the region. The report reflects broader Israeli concerns about Turkey's expanding influence in the Horn of Africa, particularly in Somalia, which has become one of Ankara's closest partners in Africa in the areas of security, military training, economic development, and strategic infrastructure. Growing concerns over Turkey's regional influence. The Jerusalem Post described the project as another step in Turkey's long-term political, military, and economic investment in Somalia. According to the newspaper, this growing partnership could provide Ankara with a strategically valuable position overlooking the Red Sea, the Indian Ocean, and the Middle East. The report stated that construction is expected to take place near the coastal town of Wararka, approximately 70 kilometers north of Mogadishu, although previous reports have suggested other possible coastal locations within Somalia. While Turkish and Somali officials have publicly presented the project as part of a peaceful space cooperation initiative, the Israeli newspaper suggested that the same infrastructure could potentially strengthen Turkey's missile development program. The report further claimed that if the facility eventually supports systems capable of reaching distances of up to 2,000 kilometers, Israel itself would not be within that range. However, the newspaper argued that locations in the wider region could still be affected, making the project strategically significant. The Somaliland dimension. One of the most notable aspects of the report was its focus on Somaliland. According to the Jerusalem Post, Somaliland has become increasingly important in Israel's strategic calculations. The newspaper connected Turkey's growing presence in Somalia with what it described as an emerging geopolitical competition involving Mogadishu, Hargeisa, Ankara, and Tel Aviv. The article suggested that this regional rivalry is becoming more visible as different powers seek to strengthen their influence in the Horn of Africa. It is important to note, however, that claims regarding military cooperation between Israel and Somaliland remain the subject of public debate, and official information on such matters is limited. The report also linked the issue to Israel's broader regional security concerns, arguing that any expansion of Turkish military or technological capabilities in Somalia deserves close attention. Somalia's position. Federal government of Somalia has consistently maintained that Somaliland remains an integral part of the Federal Republic of Somalia. Mogadishu has repeatedly stated that no foreign government has the legal authority to interfere with Somalia's territorial integrity or recognize Somaliland as an independent state. Turkey has publicly supported Somalia's position on this issue, emphasizing respect for Somalia's sovereignty and internationally recognized borders. Deepening partnership between Somalia and Turkey. Turkey has steadily strengthened its relationship with Somalia since 2011, when Ankara played a major humanitarian role during the devastating famine that affected millions of Somalis. Since then, cooperation has expanded into healthcare, education, infrastructure development, trade, and security. In 2017, Turkey opened its largest overseas military training base in Mogadishu. Since its establishment, thousands of Somali soldiers have received military training there as part of efforts to rebuild Somalia's national armed forces. In February 2024, Somalia and Turkey signed a 10-year defense and economic cooperation agreement. The agreement provides for expanded cooperation in protecting Somalia's coastline, combating illegal fishing, strengthening the country's naval capabilities, and enhancing maritime security. The agreement came shortly after Ethiopia signed a controversial memorandum of understanding with Somaliland, seeking access to the sea and the possibility of establishing a naval facility. Somalia strongly rejected that agreement, describing it as a violation of its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Why is Israel concerned? According to Israeli media, the concern extends beyond the construction of a single aerospace facility. The growing relationship between Turkey and Somalia is viewed as part of Ankara's broader geopolitical strategy in the Horn of Africa. Turkey has become one of the most influential external partners in Somalia, while at the same time President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has been one of Israel's strongest critics, particularly regarding the war in Gaza. Israeli commentators therefore argue that any significant Turkish military, technological, or strategic expansion near important maritime routes deserves careful monitoring. From their perspective, the planned aerospace facility represents not only a scientific or technological project but also a development with potential geopolitical and security implications. Conclusion: the proposed Turkish aerospace facility in Somalia has attracted international attention because of its possible strategic significance. Supporters view the project as an opportunity to advance scientific research, technological innovation, and Somalia's development through international cooperation. Critics, however, believe the facility could have broader military or geopolitical consequences, particularly given the complex regional dynamics involving Turkey, Israel, Somalia, Ethiopia, and Somaliland. At this stage, many of the security-related claims discussed in media reports remain speculative and have not been independently confirmed by official sources. Nevertheless, the project has become another focal point in the evolving geopolitical competition in the Horn of Africa, a region that continues to gain strategic importance on the global stage.